Yeah, so let's pick up on that. I think that's beautiful. I mean, this is where the cognitive science can come in. First of all, you made the Heideggerian point, which in some ways goes back to Plato. I don't know if Heidegger would like that, you know, you and I are not the authors or the authority of language. I didn't make the language we're speaking, neither did you. And at most, I participate in the fact that that language is constantly evolving. We're not talking the way people talked 200 years ago, and you're not responsible for that change, and I'm not. But I participate in that ongoing evolution, and it's deeply, deeply inside of me. Or your individuality. Let's do your individuality. Well, my individuality, and you do Rousseau, and I'm aware of myself. How did you become aware of yourself? Vygotsky, right? I have the ability to take a perspective on myself by first interacting with you dialogically. The child is acting with the parent, and the child takes the parent's perspective on the child's perspective. The child imitates the parent, and so the parent has a perspective other than the child. And you eventually, in turn, they get woven together by Dialogos until eventually, right, you can take the adult's perspective on the child's perspective, and that's how you get your metacognitive abilities. Your self-awareness is given to you through the afforded agape that other people have extended to you before you were a self-aware individual, because you did not. None of us started our existence that way. We did not come into this world as Cartesian egos with self-awareness. We came into this world as animals hungry for culture, who had, through dialogue and Dialogos, have internalized other people's perspectives so that we become self-aware. The Cartesian perspective has it exactly the wrong way around. We are always and this is why the Logos is in John at the beginning, because John is also the person said that God is agape. We are dependent on that. And agape and Logos are bound together in John's gospel and his epistles, right? Because we are dependent on that. I only have acquired my ability to transcend myself by indwelling you and allowing you to indwell me. That mutually affording indwelling that reciprocally opens. It opens me up to myself, opens me up to the world, and opens you up to me. Those are all bound together. They're inextricably bound together. And we're doing it right now. We're doing it right. The reason why we care to do this is because we intuitively know this. Like, that's why this is why you always want other people to understand you. You want to see if your perspective is shareable, because it's a primary way in which you realize, in both senses of the word, yourself. I mean, this is why, think about it. If you've seen it, I hope you've seen it. Tom Hanks, Castaway. He's alone on the island, and he has to make an interlocutor. He has to take a soccer ball and imaginally treat it as a dialogical partner, or else he will go crazy. That's not just a fictional, conceit. That's a deep truth about our human reason. Human self-awareness is not monological. It is inherently dialogical. And remembering that in the deep sense, I totally agree with you, Thomas. But it's not enough to say that. It's not enough to love somebody to say the words, I love you. You have to cultivate skills and virtues. You have to learn how to be present with that person. You have to learn to indwell them and allow them to indwell you in a participatory fashion. Right? That's what we talk about. That's why we use falling in love, because it's not something you do, it's something you participate in. Right? We have to remember into the guts of our being. We have to remember that takes us back into before we were these Cartesian selves. We have to remember who we are. And that's what Dialogos helps us do. We are bound deeply to each other in a profound and inescapable fashion.
Sorry.